Celebrations to mark the 100th anniversary of Stoke-on-Trent becoming a city are continuing this weekend with a big People's Parade and a day of music events. The city has a rich musical heritage, not only becoming a mecca for Northern Soul fans in the 60s and 70s, but then embracing the rave scene in the 80s and 90s. Laura May McMullen has been looking back.
Northern Soul became a way of life for a community of clubbers who danced the night away to a new style of upbeat music produced in America during the 60s and 70s. The Torch in Tunstall was instrumental in helping to shape the scene, with DJs Colin Curtis and Keith Minchell playing the all-nighters and drawing in headline acts. Hundreds of people used to flock here to the Torch down this residential street, and despite the all-nighters running for around a year, it helped to popularise around 100 Northern Soul records.
Like the way she smiles.
At home with his 4,000-strong record collection, Dave Everson has spun the decks for more than 50 years. He was the resident DJ in 1975 at the legendary Wigan Casino.
The dancing was unique to this great, rare American music. But the Torch in Stoke-on-Trent was certainly a very integral part of the birth of Northern Soul.
And that's why music lovers Phil and Bob want to commemorate the city's historic clubs by putting up unofficial blue plaques.
I didn't want any of the old clubs to be forgotten, Bob, really. And because of our age, like you always say, dance while you still can.
Yeah, it still applies, that does.
Yeah, I just wanted to go out with a blaze of glory.
We certainly have.
From the late 80s onwards, the sound changed. Stoke-on-Trent was seen nationally as a pioneer of rave culture, with clubbers making the pilgrimage to venues in Longton. Daz Willett was one of the original DJs at Shelley's Laserdome, which later this year celebrates its 35th anniversary with a special event.
People travel from all over Britain. When a track dropped with a piano drop, everyone's hands went up in the air. People on bars dancing, all on the speakers. People were dancing everywhere. Very lucky to have in our little town of Longton, Stoke-on-Trent.
And in May 1992, the doors opened to Club Kinetic with a capacity for 1,600 ravers. Resident DJ Mark Davis is still playing the music and has recently raised £16,000 with his daytime charity events.
What I've noticed that the last two charity events have done, there's been sort of a groundswell of a lot of younger people, sort of 18 to 25, who are coming along. But a lot of the older music has now been sort of remixed. It's a win-win for everyone, really.
Also keeping the memory of the 90s dance scene alive today is Pete Bromley, who was resident DJ at Super Club Golden, with his back-in-the-day events across the city. Organisers say the demand for dance nostalgia is still going strong. So whether you're a raver or a soulie, the music is still pulling in dedicated large crowds. Laura May McMullen, BBC Midlands Today, Stoke-on-Trent.
Well, we heard his name mentioned there. Colin Curtis has been working as a DJ since 1967. Although he was born and grew up in Madeley in Staffordshire, he played a key part in Stoke-on-Trent's music scene, setting up the local Northern Soul scene and bringing music by Black American artists to a much wider audience, something he is still passionate about today.
The thing about Northern Soul is it became a place for family, for friends and people who had made the choice not to just be going out to regular clubs or regular youth clubs. It came through the youth clubs, it built up into other nights, and then eventually, the local Tiffany's gave us a night in 67, 68, and we moved on from that, and everything just kept building. I mean, I think the camaraderie alongside the music just allowed you to feel like you belonged to something.
So it sounds like you're saying it was more than just the music.
Oh, it's way more than just the music. Yes, in Stoke-on-Trent, of course, I've done the Torch, I've done Tiffany's, many clubs, many small clubs as well in Stoke-on-Trent. There was the Magic Roundabout, there was the 72 Club, there was the Inset, and all these places, people would frequent because they'd be with friends who were like-minded, and then the travelling started. So Blackpool Mecca for me, and then eventually, of course, the giant all-nighter was Wigan Casino.
Colin, what about the music scene in Stoke-on-Trent now?
The music scene in Stoke-on-Trent, in terms of Northern Soul, there's still probably 3, 4, 5 nights. I mean, the Pop Bank do one. You've got it out at Radway Green. I myself do a Tiffany's revival, once a year. There's still a lot of interest in Stoke-on-Trent, and I think a lot of people from Stoke-on-Trent also travel, to clubs that are still going around the country.
What do you think about these non-official blue plaques which have been put up on some of the venues around the city?
I think the blue plaques are just reminding everybody that it's the 100 years of Stoke-on-Trent, and these clubs and the people who were involved in them played a massive role in Stoke-on-Trent.
Well, Colin, your passion really comes across. Great to speak to you.
No problem.
We're a week